Right, what are we saying? Here for the third leg day of the week. Today's going to be the squat day. On the other 2 days we do step ups and split squats. I like to hit all those three during the week for the front of the knee. And then for the back of the knee we do some kind of knee flexion exercise on our leg days. And then we do a hip extension on the accessories. So on the knee flexion days I usually do Nordics on Monday and Friday. And then I'll do like a hamstring curl on the Wednesday, 2 up, 1 down probably, if you got 1 weaker leg. But yeah, like obviously first things first, we always do blood flow into the knee and then tips and calves, light tips and calves. And then we're going to plyometrics, probably some calf jumps, lateral calf jumps, and then maybe some bounds even. Tomorrow's like a field day where I do like sprints and stuff like that, so I'm not going to go too heavy on the plyos today. Obviously we'll still do it to a good extent, but not like absolutely kill myself. But yeah, let's get into it. I really need to buy a sled. Like, I understand when people say like knee rehab can be a little bit boring. Like doing bad knee extensions and knee flossing every single day of your life. It feels good to me and I like it just because I talk about it all the time, but like I understand if it's not the most fun thing in the world, but like the things that are the best for you usually aren't the most fun. So you just have to do it. It's like 5 minutes of your day, the knee flossing and the banded knee extension is not too much. Like obviously if you have a sled, that's a better option than a banded knee extension, but I don't have one here. I should really get one. Or the ATG backwards treadmill. So yeah, 5 minutes of banded knee extensions. Well, anywhere between 3 and 5, but you want to go until you get like a 10 out of 10 quad pump. On these like kind of sled activities, on banded knee extensions, on backwards treadmill, you can really go for much longer than you think you can. Like even if you have like a 9 out of 10 quad pump and you're going and you're literally feeling like you can't take any more steps, like you could still probably take about 50 because it's concentric only. It's going to hurt in terms of muscle burn, but the muscle burn is completely worth it. Trains your mind as well. It's like, okay, I can keep going, like I don't give up. But yeah, when you think that you're done with the sled or the banded knee extensions, go a little more. Keep saying that. Every time you go to stop, just go couple more, and you'll end up blasting out like 100 more. And then those 100 extra that you blast out every single day is gonna add to your knee rehab massively. Like, and it's just a thing of your mind rather than actually your muscles not being able to do the lift, because it's an easy lift, short range, it's not much tension, but it's just like quads are already on fire for me. Oh. And then yeah, like technically I don't really need to be knee flossing anymore. I just love the feeling of like the blood flow rushing to my knee after, and it's always good. Like if I say stuff to you guys on the internet, I have to do it really. Like I'm not going to do stuff that I'm not going to not do stuff that I say, otherwise it would be hypocritical. Obviously my knee's gotten to a point where like it doesn't need like the short range healing and the knee flossing as much as it used to. It still helps when getting into like a warm up, just makes your knee feel really good, but I could go into a squat pretty much cold without my knee hurting. But it's about what's optimal, and the blood flow is optimal, so we'll get it rolling. Had the ATG for coaches call last night. We were talking about long form content and how you can give so much more context. Like Ben was even challenging us to make our reels more informative rather than like just keep using it as a challenge, because obviously 60 seconds isn't a lot of time to be able to get out all the information in the world that you need, all the context, all the nuance. Obviously it can help people still, but like the long form is really where you're going to get the most valuable information. So I'm going to do a few YouTube videos a week. Some are going to be training sessions, some are going to be breaking down some stuff depending on what you guys want to see. If you want to see anything in particular, ask questions in the comments below and I'll be sure to get to them. But yeah, obviously we can't give all the nuance in the world on 60-second reels. You can do your best to give out stuff and get people thinking about it, because even the content that I'm putting out is much better than half the shit that's on TikTok. that's not helping anyone. Like, I'm helping people by doing it, but obviously there is a certain level of nuance and detail that you can't hit in a 60-second reel, even though I'll keep challenging myself, I keep trying to make it better, keep giving out more, but yeah, there's only so much you can give. So, band knee extensions and knee flossing. For me today, I'll probably go just a couple sets of FHLs and TIBs. I haven't done the KOT calf as much recently because I had a bit of an issue in, like, I pulled a muscle in the outside of my foot, so it was really struggling getting into like long range positions like the FHL. So I'm really trying to build up the strength in the FHLs to make sure that kind of stuff doesn't happen again. It could be due to like a difference in ankle mobility as well, because obviously 5 years in knee issues and it's got so stiff. So I'm still trying to get the ankle mobility as much as I can. I'm doing flat ground, flat foot, split squats. I'm doing Patrick step ups instead of Poliquins. Really focusing on my ankles because my knees are super strong now. It's just more building that range in my ankles. That's my main objective right now. One of the best things you can do in life is invest in mentors. I know I was just talking about the HG for Coaches call. Like, if I didn't invest in certain people, in Ben, in Keegan, and these kind of people that are my mentors and like I'm learning from, my life would not be how it is right now. You can skip a lot of steps, a lot of learning curves by paying for other people's knowledge. Like Ben Patrick's already done 10, 15 years of this kind of training. So I could figure it out myself over like the 10 years, or I could buy the knowledge from him and do it, help people in a much less time. Obviously he was helping people throughout the whole thing, but like the way that he's mastered it now, like we can get that knowledge so much quicker. And then like mentors are great in general because they can see stuff in you that you can't see in yourself. They can give you ideas, they can give you different pointers. Obviously we're going to make mistakes all throughout our lives, so having someone that's already made them and can tell you what to do when you do make them, that's absolutely massive. That's like the benefit of like the one-on-one coaching for the knees. Obviously you get the program, you get this stuff, but you get access to me, you get access to Kevin, and it's people who have been through these injuries, people who have spent thousands of hours of their life researching this kind of stuff, researching knees, researching injuries. So obviously the programs are amazing, but the real benefit comes from asking the questions, having constant access to me. Like, I paid for one-on-one coaching when I was younger, and it's like one of the best decisions I made. Like, I learned so much more about myself, about my knee, about coaching as well from hiring a coach. Like, it's not just about the knee. Obviously that is massive, but it's about who do you become in the process of fixing your knee. This is an opportunity. Like, if I never had the 5 years of chronic knee pain, I would never be in this position. Like, my life went so far down that the law of polarity kicked it all the way back up. Because, so like, your biggest struggles, your biggest adversities are actually blessings, but you can take full advantage of them. You need to take full advantage of them in a certain way. You can make them better for yourself knowing that they can be an advantage. If you look at the law of polarity suggests that everything has poles, everything has one side or the other, every single thing. So if something's really bad, it also has within it something really good. It's the law. So if you're going through knee injury, if you're struggling with all this stuff, like, think about, obviously it's hard to in the time because you're dealing with chronic pain, but if I switched, and I switched my mind onto hope and then gratitude and then what I could do in the future with it, and now I've got 40,000 followers and I'm helping hundreds, if not thousands of people get through their knee injuries. So it's like, for something that's really bad that's happened to me, I've taken that and flipped it and I'm doing something really good with it. Obviously I'm not perfect, I'm gonna get some things wrong, but that's just life. I dealt with shin splints quite a lot. The formula that you need for shin splints is super strong calves, super strong soleus, super strong gastroc, both of the calf muscles, super strong tibs, and then like progressively going back into your sport or going back into plyometrics. Like you'll probably find that even if you're doing, it depends how strong your tibs and calves are. If they're really, really strong, it might be less, but even if you've got really strong tibs and calves, if you just start, it's the same with everything, if you just start doing really intense side jumps getting up, like they're still gonna be, you're still probably gonna get shin splints because you're not slowly applying that kind of tension on your knee. But again, it depends on how much you've trained your tibs and calves. Oh yeah, and adequate ankle mobility. So tibs, calves, ankle mobility, slowly applying plyometric force. Okay, cool. So we've got blood flow in the knee, we've got the flossing, we've got the band knee extensions, we've done the tibs and calves. So now we're going to go into some lateral calf jumps and then some bounds. I'll probably do lateral calf jumps like 60 seconds, just side to side, making sure that lateral thing, because a lot of people after knee injury struggle with that lateral movement. There's a couple of progressions that I love for it. Obviously, this is super simple. You can do smaller if it's painful, smaller side to sides, and then we can build up to bigger ones. And then also I like, Ben made a video on these ones, where you're coming in, holding the isometric, moving from side to side, feeling how it feels, go out as well, go in, and then also like lateral jumps. So like really getting those, I think they're called skater jumps, but it's just that progression. So it's light, getting used to that position, and then like being able to absorb like a lot of force landing in it. So yeah, I hope that helps. On these bounds, I'll probably go 70-80% today. Haven't done them in a while, and I've got the sprint day tomorrow, so I don't want to absolutely fatigue myself. First set, I'll probably even go 50, just get used to it. There's also different kind of ways you can do bounds. You can do them for distance, you can do it from height, you can do them for speed. I like just like a balanced approach. But yeah, we'll probably go about 50-60% for the first set, and then build it up once I get a bit more used to it. Something super underrated is for like plyometrics, for all kinds of strength, to make sure your knees are healthy, your hips are healthy, is actually foot strength. Like how much control do you have over your big toe? How much arch do you have? Do your feet, are they in the right shape? Obviously, like you have outliers like LeBron James, who have extreme bunions from wearing like basketball shoes his entire life. So you can still be athletic without like really super how feet are meant to be. But obviously it's how optimal is it. He kind of has some freak genetics. His training's not 100% optimal, but how strong can we get everything holistically so that we can kind of catch up with the genetic freaks? Like how many of the genetic freaks are really taking their time to get comfortable in these positions where the ankle rolls? Yeah, it's a worm. That's what I'm saying. Like if you look at people like he says it's like he loves the fascia, he loves the feet. He's got like the plantar fascia stretch where you're sitting down with your toes into the ground. He's got the cow where you're stretching out the top of the foot. So it's like super important that he can, I'm not sure how tall he is, I think it's like 5'8" or something, but he can dunk the basketball. So he's also got extreme knees over toes ability. He can do duck walks super easy. Like you need to look at the people who are the freaks and see what they do and take the results from them. Like there's probably not any studies on the stuff that Kador does. So if he was waiting for the studies to come out, then he wouldn't be doing what he's doing probably. So there's advantages and disadvantages to always just looking at studies. You want both evidence-based and anecdotal, because we see like now with like we've been doing the heel elevation in ACG for a long time, and it's now coming out that in studies okay, the heel elevation activates more VMO. Okay, cool, we've been saying that for 10 years. What if we'd never done that because a study didn't say it, and then 10 years later, a study came out and said it? Like, advantages and disadvantages. But yeah, back to it. Right, so the plyometrics are done. Time to get into the real fun stuff. Let's go for some heavy squats. Probably do like ramping sets of 5. See what we can go up to. I need to get my buddies. Actually, my ATG buddies. Oh, so I got the buddies. Obviously, you can do squats with your heels down if you've got the mobility for it. I think with the buddies, with some kind of heel elevation, it's always better anyway. With a slant board, with some buddies, it allows you to get more knee over toe, allows you to get more range of motion, even if you have good range of motion, flat-footed. I usually wouldn't recommend coming out of the squat rack this way, but I want to talk to you guys, so maybe a little bit dangerous. We'll see. But yeah, on the squats, probably do about 5 sets of 5, 3 to 4 seconds on the way down. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause at the bottom for a second, and then explode it up. For a long, long time, I couldn't squat. This was the hardest thing for me. Yeah, that's a bit low, that squat rack. I'll put it up. But it was because when you're coming down into a squat, your knees are pretty much over your toes straight away. So there's so much pressure in your knees. It's all the way, whereas it's a split squat. Your pressure only comes in your knee about there. That's knee over toe there. So you're already like halfway in by the time you get knee over toe. Whereas this, it's like already at the top range of motion, it's knee over toe, so it's a lot of pressure. But yeah, let me change this. Something that super helped me with my squat was floss bands. Using floss bands in the bottom, I had a lot of scar tissue and my screws were like blocking me. When I put on the floss bands, it made it a lot easier for me. So you can try, like, you don't just need to floss at the start. If you're having any issues with range of motion, then you can floss when you're actually doing the list, when you're doing AC split squats, when you're doing step ups, all that kind of stuff, and eventually over time, get rid of them. Again, I'd actually recommend doing some split squats before you go in to the squat, just so your hip flexors are lengthened, so your ankle mobility is starting to get there. Like, it's one of the best things, so your knees warmed up. It's an amazing warm up for before you get into a squat. You can just do some slow reps, even pause in the bottom, making sure everything feels good, getting that ankle mobility, squeezing those tibs, squeezing that back glute, just as a warm up for the squat. If you're struggling to get into the squat at all, you can still do split squats beforehand. But it should have warmed up the knee already with like the flossing and the tibs and calves and stuff like that. Loads of blood flowing around below the knee. So yeah, as soon as you do the squat, you brace your core, and then I like to, saw an analogy of like being underwater once, and it's like as soon as you get to like here, then you like hold your breath, go underwater, and then explode up, and then you breathe on the way out. But yeah, knees come forward a little bit first, and then you just sink down into it. A way to make the bar feel lighter as well is to actually pull it down into your shoulders rather than just let it sit there. Like, actually keep it tight, pull it down, that'll make it feel much lighter. Something you'll figure out is that squats will never feel light, like it will always feel heavy. So like 40 kg will always feel like 40 kg. Obviously it'll move quicker, but it'll still feel like 40 kg. Because like, that's how heavy like 40 kg kind of felt when I could only do 40 kg. But now I can do like, hit a 90 something, 1 rep max in Montenegro. So I'm a lot stronger, but that still feels the same on my warm-up sets. Go up to 60, if I can hit 60 for 5, I'll go up to 65 probably. Something funny that we were talking about as well is how like filming is now our sport. Like, so after this session today, I'm gonna go and film probably for an hour or two, like reels, stuff like that. And I'm gonna be doing like loads of reverse Nordics, loads of sissies, like all this kind of stuff to show off like my knee ability, and like record the reels. I'm gonna be doing squats, split squats. So like that's kind of our sport. Like we're preparing our body by doing the training so that our sport can then be filming. Like that's what ATG is. It's like you prepare your body for whatever you go and do. So you prepare your body by squats, by all this kind of stuff to go and play football. And you're going to be better playing football because you can do all the strength stuff. But it's the combination of both. But yeah, like my kind of, like I've got injured, not injured, but like I had like small tweaks by jumping off stuff, by going crazy, because that is my sport. But the more I do this, the better like that the filming gets. And when I'm doing squats, because it's such like a full body like compound exercise, I like to have at least like 3 to 5 minutes in between sets. On step ups, you can do like 90 seconds kind of rest, maybe 2 minutes. Same split squats, maybe 2 to 3 minutes. But on the squats, I like proper 3 to 5 minute rest, just so my CNS can recuperate before I go into the next set. So if you're finding that you get weaker as the sets go on and it feels worse, maybe rest a little bit longer. If you're resting only like 90 seconds, 2 minutes, give it 3 to 5 minutes, see how you feel. In between, you can do some skill work, do some juggling, do some keepy uppies, whatever you want, but just let your CNS kind of recuperate. Okay, let's go. My anterior chain has always, since the surgery, my anterior chain's always been weaker than my posterior. Can bang out loads and loads of Nordics. Can RDL like 100 kg when I weigh like 60. But I've had to do loads and loads of work on my quads, on my anterior chain, because of how destroyed it was after the injuries. You want to be structurally balanced. Like one person's like front anterior chain can be weaker, and that's why they have a knee pain. One person can have weak posterior, weak hamstrings, and that's why they could have knee pain. So every single situation is different. You need to test your numbers on everything, see the kind of structural balance, what numbers are what. Obviously that doesn't mean your squat has to be the same weight as your RDL or your hamstring curls, but it means that it has to be in proportion. And if you want to look at the structural balance numbers, I think you can search up on Google like Charles Poliquin's structural balance numbers. He done most of the upper body ones. Ben's got an article or two on the lower body ones. Yeah, so I managed 60 for free at the tempo that I wanted to hit. And then, because the third rep was a little iffy, I sped up the tempo so that it was less strength that was required, but I could still get a few extra reps in. So I done 60 for free, super slow and controlled, 4 pause, explode up, and then back down. And then on the last one, I done about 2 to 3 seconds on the way down, no pause in the bottom, so I could use that kind of spring out of the bottom to get it up, because I knew that that would have been my sticking point, because I could feel it on the rep before. Obviously I would, if you're recovering from a knee injury, I'd probably recommend just to do the amount that you can with the perfect tempo that's on your program, whatever tempo that is. But if you understand how tempo works, how your body moves, what feels good, what doesn't, you can play around with that just to squeeze out some more reps. Probably do 60 again, just to see how we're feeling, because sometimes you can do the first set and it won't feel like that great, but then you do a second set and it feels amazing. Sometimes you'll do the first set and it'll feel great and the second set will feel bad. So I'm gonna do a second set. Right now I've done the bar, 40 kg, 50 kg and then 60 kg once. So one more set, that'll be the 5 done for the day. And then we'll go into knee flexion, we'll do Nordic curls, and then L-sits probably. I like gar hammers, but I don't have a setup to do gar hammers here. So we'll do L-sit, which is so hard. Oh yeah, also look at this. I can hit handstand push-ups from a frog now. I've done like 10 in a row yesterday. I'll see if I can do one without any warm-up right now, just to show off a little bit. You see that? Easy. In ACG, we don't just train lower body. I'll see if I can smash another one. That felt easy. See if I can stay up after. Oh, a little tougher. Still pretty cool. Still pretty cool. Okay, actually, I just, you would have seen in the video, I just saw someone on Instagram doing a cloak up squat. So I was like, yeah, I'll do one of those just to test it out. So I done a cloak up squat, which is like 8 seconds down, or as slow as you can. 6 seconds pause in the bottom, and then explode up. But 60 kg was all right. It was really tough on the way down, like you're really having to control it, feeling that in the front of your knees, really working in the quads, and you're really going slow all the way down. So it's a lot of tension, but yeah, cool. I'm now going to go on to Nordics and L-sits. So today, I fancy doing some declines, so I'll warm up the back of the knee with some eccentrics only, and then some flat ground, like full ones, and then we'll see how many declines we'll hit. I haven't done declines in like a month. Last time I hit 3, so we'll see how we're feeling. It's funny how like the first rep, you can kind of feel how the whole day is going to go. Out of anything, it's so funny. Obviously, once you're warmed up, it's a little bit different. But you can kind of tell what day it's going to be by the first rep. It's going to be a good day. Oh my God. Oh, L-sits are the bane of my existence. No, they're not. They're really, really good. I love L-sits. Be intentional with your words. L-sits are so easy. Easy. I love L-sits. I love decline Nordics. About to smash 5. Put it into existence. Ask for what you want. If you don't, you won't get it. That's what I'm saying. Hey, let's hit the Nordics. Come on. Let's get it. Come on. Come on. Come on, 5. Come on. One more. Come on. Come on. What did I say? Oh. Oh. What did I say? Ask and you shall get. Knock and you shall find. Seek and it shall be revealed to you. Ask. All you need to do is ask. Right, I'm going to leave it there because I'm going on to do some filming and it's not going to... I'll do another set of L-sits, but I don't want to be like unbelievably fatigued tomorrow when I do my sprint day. So I'll go film some reels now. But yeah, I appreciate you watching this if you got this far. It's a good day, but absolutely blessed again to be training in this kind of environment, to be able to talk to you guys and show you guys, whoever, how many is watching. I think we had like 100 and something on the last thing, which is insane. Having 100 people, like imagine if there was 100 people watching me train right now, like live here, like it would be nuts. So I appreciate you all watching. And yeah, if you want one-on-one coaching from me, if you want designated programs, constant access to me and my head coach Kev, there's a link in the bio, there's a link in the description down below for an application form. We only intake about 10 a month, so first come, first serve. We're opening it next couple of weeks, so yeah, hope to see you there.